Welcome everyone to the in-store webinar, Sarine and GCAL, a new vision for the diamond industry, brought to you by Sarine. I'm Cheryl Kremkow, your host, the founder of Citrine Media Jewelry Branding Company. You also may know me as the former editor of Modern Jeweler and Jewelry News Asia. We're excited to bring you this webinar today because it actually couldn't be more relevant. Thanks to ChatGPT, artificial intelligence is now in the news every single day. AI is transforming the way many businesses operate, and the diamond business is no different. Artificial intelligence is now revolutionizing the way diamonds are graded, thanks to Sarine's AI-powered grading, which is setting a new standard for accuracy, consistency, and repeatability. This month, Sarine, a public company that's the world-leading diamond technology provider, is acquiring a majority stake in GCAL, the New York-based diamond grading lab known for its guaranteed diamond grading certificates and 8X Ultimate Diamond Cut Grade. Today, they are officially launching the new GCAL by Sarine brand. And I think we have a video. On today's panel, we are thrilled to have the two people who can explain the vision for GCAL by Sarine and how retailers can benefit from the combined power of these two companies. David Block, the CEO of Sarine, and Angelo Palmieri, the president of GCAL USA. We'll talk about Sarine's AI grading and the vision for how Sarine and GCAL will work together in the future for the first 40 minutes or so, and then we'll have 20 minutes to answer your questions. So when you have a question, just go ahead and write it at any time in the questions section of your GoToWebinar control panel, and we'll get to it as soon as we can. So we have a lot to cover today and a lot of big news, so let's jump right in. So let's start at the beginning. David, why was Sarine interested in working with GCAL, and what is your vision for this acquisition?
Hi, Cheryl, and everyone. It's great to be here today. So Sarine's been developing a grading technology for a number of years, and we were looking for a partner for the US market. And we wanted someone who had great leadership, who had great customer service, who had great grading quality. And when we looked around, GCAL was basically the perfect partner. So I think that was, they fit our DNA, they fit our values of transparency, high quality, and therefore they're a perfect fit for us.
So Angelo, how will GCAL use AI grading for the 4 C's on its diamond grading report?
Yeah, so I'm just gonna take one step back and tell you.
Yeah, let's. Sorry about that.
What made us, very interested, or what made Sarine very interesting to us, and for the GCAL team, of course, all the things that David said is very important to us. The way they handle their business, their transparency, their ethics, everything that they do in conducting their business is very, very important to us to have that in a partner. But this partnership for us is all about their technology. From the Sarine AI-based color and clarity grading systems to Sarine Diamond Journey, which provides verifiable traceability of a diamond's origin. This is about adding cutting-edge technology to the GCAL certification process. So this is a technology vision for us. Sarine has been, as you know, Cheryl, it's been an innovator across multiple segments of the diamond industry, from diamond cut and measurements, right, with the dimension systems, to diamond planning and processing with their Galaxy systems, and now on to diamond grading. This partnership allows GCAL and our customers, most importantly, to be at the cutting edge of technological innovation in the industry, and also importantly, to be able to leverage Sarine's global footprint.
So how will GCAL use AI grading for the 4 C's on its diamond grading report? How will the partnership work?
Yeah, so the Sarine AI color and clarity systems are already installed at the GCAL lab, and we've begun to incorporate them into our process already. At GCAL, as I think you might know, Cheryl, from conversations we've had, we used independent consensus grading. So the AI systems are now a part of that consensus grading process in the lab. In addition to the 4 Cs that we offer, we believe one of the most exciting benefits that we can utilize these systems is to go beyond the 4 Cs. So as you know, many retailers have designed and tried to implement additional QC standards on top of the 4 Cs, like color tints, black inclusions, opens, fluorescence. And these systems, because they're being graded by machine, they'll give us the ability to implement these QC standards, both on a consistent scale, but also on a global scale, which is going to allow retailers to be able to curate their own beyond the 4 Cs standard consistently across their programs. I think the most exciting aspect of AI grading for GCAL and our customers is that it allows us to confidently scale and grow our operations without compromising our standards. And you know that's of critical importance to GCAL and the customers that depend on GCAL every day. All too often, we have seen labs choose growth over consistency, choose market share over accuracy. And at GCAL, our condition for global growth always has been upholding our core values, and this partnership allows us to achieve that.
That's great. So David, one of the things that sets GCAL apart from other labs is their guarantee, or money-back guarantee on their reports. Can we expect to see that continue?
Absolutely. That was actually one of the parameters that attracted us so much to GCAL. A grading lab that stands behind their grading and provides a guarantee rather than just a report meant to us that they really believe in quality, really believe in what they're doing. I think that with the addition of technology, it actually becomes even easier for us to stand behind that guarantee, because no matter how good manual grading is, technology is always going to be a lot more consistent. So I think that guarantee is going to be an integral part of the grading reports. We're going to keep it, and as I said, it's not an issue to stand behind that because of the fact that we know that technology can be very highly consistent.
Angelo mentioned Diamond Journey, and Diamond Journey is one of the most popular services that Sarine offers. So it's full traceability from the mine to the market. So what can we expect in the future from Diamond Journey?
Yeah, well, traceability, as you mentioned, is definitely growing very rapidly. The importance of it is growing, especially with the current conflict in Ukraine and Russian diamonds. So knowing where your diamond come from is becoming even more important than it was over the last few years. And that, of course, is one of the services that we'll be very quickly adding to the new GCAL by Sarine services. We're already working very diligently to include that as part of the offering, and we'll be able to see that very shortly as part of the services and reports that GCAL provides to its clients. I think that's just one of the first examples of how this partnership and how this will provide additional value to the US customers and US retailers. So that'll be one of the first new services that'll be coming very soon.
So could you go into a little detail about how Diamond Journey works? How can you trace diamonds from the mine to the manufacturer to the consumer, from the rough to the polished?
Okay.
How does it work?
Very good question. So because Sarine has such an extensive presence in the diamond pipeline, from the mine through the diamond manufacturers and all the way down to the polished diamond, we have over 100 million diamonds annually going through our technologies. So there's a lot of diamonds and a lot of data going through our technologies every single year, and that number, of course, continues to grow. Using that data, we can use algorithms to compare between the different data sets as the diamond moves from the miner to the manufacturer, starts the manufacturing process, is cut and then polished, and basically use verifiable independent data to track the diamond. In fact, one of the things that we're doing as we speak is introducing a very fast and automated system that will help the miners scan the goods very quickly and automatically, using a very new robotic based system that we're going to be introducing very, very soon to the miners globally. And maybe we can show the viewers a video of the new system.
That'd be great. Let's do that.
With today's buyers demanding diamond traceability from mine to store, how can rough diamonds be delivered efficiently at high volumes? Introducing AutoScan, fully robotic workflow for diamond birth registration. AutoScan automatically scans all rough stones in a given parcel at high speed, generates unique 3D information for each stone, and extracts traceability-enabling data. Then, uploads its data to Sarine's secure cloud-based system. Improve speed and accuracy, accelerate registration, scale up measurement time with no sales cycle slowdown. Say goodbye to manual scanning and hello to the automation future. Sarine AutoScan, accuracy and speed at scale.
So AutoScan is in the process of launching now.
Yeah, we're actually in the development of a second generation, faster, quicker, smaller, and a lot more efficient. So we're already in the next generation already.
That's great. So Angelo, one of GCAL's most popular services is the 8X cut report. Is that going to continue? And what are your plans for 8X?
Yeah, 100% it's going to continue. As you mentioned, it has become an extraordinarily popular certificate that we introduced around 2 years ago. As you know, we've launched it for round, oval, and princess. Just this year in 2023, we actually expanded it and launched an 8X cut standard for proprietary and patented cuts in almost every different shape we've seen thus far. We're in the process of completing 8X cut standard for additional classic shapes, cushions, radiance, marquee, and pair, and would expect to have an 8X cut standard launched for every shape at some point this year. I think the most exciting thing that we, as a result of this partnership, is we're now going to be able to add AI grading and diamond journey traceability to an 8X certificate. So when you think about, we have the ability to create the most comprehensive diamond grading certificate that exists in the market that covers all aspects of a diamond's cut quality, graded to the highest, most precise, consistent, accurate standard through the use of the AI systems, and have a verifiable, traceable origin. This covers all aspects of the quality and the sourcing of that diamond. I would think that this type of product meets the questions and criteria and requirements of the most discerning consumer anywhere in the world.
So digital reports have been in the news lately. David, will GCAL by Sarine reports be digital or physical?
That's a great question. So we definitely believe a lot in digital, and both GCAL as well as Sarine have been working with digital already for a long time, and we definitely believe in the importance of digital, the benefits of digital. Today's consumers is basically digital. They're in the cell phone or iPad, so we definitely can't ignore digital, and I think digital is definitely the way of the future. Having said that, I think we always need to consider that the consumer and the retailer has a certain pace of being able to adopt new technologies. So I think we need to work together with the consumer and work together with the retailers in understanding their needs and being able to introduce such technologies step by step with whoever who wants it and needs it. Naturally, we have a lot of different technologies that enable creating interactive grading reports, making them a lot more interesting, a lot more interactive, have a lot more information that you can't do in a paper report that basically is static. So definitely, yes, digital is definitely part of what we're doing, but we're definitely going to continue with the paper reports for those who want them. And over time, I think they too will transform to digital.
Okay, great. So Angelo, could you kind of summarize how do you see this new GCAL by Sarine partnership benefiting retailers, who are many of them who are your customers already?
Absolutely, and I think that one of the most important considerations that we had to make as a company as we entered these conversations with Sarine, and the answer was unequivocally yes, but the question was, is this good for our customers? Right? I mean, that's really been the core And we view our customers as retail jewelers in protecting them, but ultimately we view our customer as the consumer, the consumer of the product, which is key to all of us in this industry succeeding. And so, that was key, is this going to be better for our customers? And that answer is definitely yes. I think when we talk about very discrete benefits, one of the easy benefits is that there's going to be many more GCAL certified diamonds in the market available for retailers. And we know, and you might consider us biased, we know that a consumer buying a diamond certified by GCAL is protected the most vis-a-vis any other lab report in the industry by virtue of the guarantee, by virtue of the QC standards and consistency that we uphold. So that's a major benefit. We talk with retailers all the time. They love our product, but maybe their supplier doesn't have a GCAL certified diamond. That I think is going to change very near in the future, and that's a benefit. We now have, we've talked about it ad nauseum today, but I think it's extremely important. We now have the ability to add verifiable traceability and origin information to all GCAL certificates, which had been a missing component on GCAL certificates for the last number of years. So we see that as a huge benefit. Of course, there's the geopolitical unrest that exacerbates that situation, but origin and sourcing is of utmost importance today, and it's only going to increase in importance in the future. So we see that as a huge benefit. That diamond journey can now be added to any GCAL certificate, providing that the manufacturers are working with the Sarine team. That's a big thing. We also think, we've talked about the AI grading, precise, consistent, accurate diamond grading at scale. That's a big thing. And I think David just touched on a little bit in digital, but we're combining, as you look at the landscape of diamond labs out there, and you think about the visualization, the digital experience, the focus on information that's highly important to the consumer, I think you can look at GCAL and Sarine as the two companies that have really invested and placed an emphasis on that visual experience for the customer. And so now we're talking about combining the two companies that had placed the most emphasis, and the products that we're about to create, I think, are going to be incredible. We're going to be taking the strengths of each company and combining these into making some of the most beautiful certificates and great digital experiences. So I think that's a huge benefit for retailers. As David mentioned, with digital, you have a lot of ways of customization, ways to tailor it to a retailer's need in terms of the amount of information they want to show, what they want to show, and that's really kind of core at what both of our companies do. I think the final thing, as GCAL expands, retailers aren't going to have to worry about what branch of the lab or what country this diamond was graded in, because it's going to be GCAL certified, it's going to be backed by AI grading, and it comes with our guarantee. And so the increase of confidence in the market, understanding that yes, there'll be a higher volume of GCAL certified diamonds in the market, but all graded to the same standard. And honestly, I think that the more and more customers we've talked to, especially over the last 4 months since this news broke, is that consistency, that's what they need. That is what the volume of rough, the volume of transactions that go through these high-end sophisticated manufacturers, they need consistency, right? And they need accuracy also. But that consistency is really important. And so that's really the promise that we're making to our customers. So we think there's innumerable benefits to the retail jeweler via this partnership.
Maybe Cheryl, I'll add actually one more thing. Angelo talked about the present and all the benefits of our partnership to the retailer. I'm actually going to touch on the future. So Sarine is by nature a technological company. We're always looking on what do we bring next? How do we innovate? How do we add value going forward? So we're already looking to next year and the year after and understanding what value can we bring to the US retailer. So I think that's also a very, very important part of who we are and what this cooperation will bring to the US market. It'll bring a lot of innovation, a lot of cutting edge technology, and a lot of added value, not only today with what we have in our offering today, but as we move forward in the years to come.
Yeah.
So you're basically ensuring the future as well. It's not just the present today.
David, you've always talked about, streamlining the supply chain. and the possibilities for retailers to make sure that the diamonds they ordered are pre-screened before they even get to the lab, to be exactly what they want, even if the criteria they have aren't necessarily only the 4 C's. Could you talk a little bit about the possibilities in terms of, you know, the supply chain and how AI-powered grading can, you know, help with that?
Yeah, no doubt. No one likes to get a batch of diamonds to them and then send them over to the lab and then have whatever, 5, a 10, a 20. I've even heard of 30% rejection. So they're expecting to get whatever, 500 diamonds at VS1 clarity and G color. But after they come back from the lab, 20 or 30% of them don't meet the criteria. So what do? You send them back to your supplier. You tell them, sorry, they don't make the cut, mind the pun, and ask him to send another 20, 30 back so that you can complete the order. You've now wasted time. Everyone's wasted money and shipping, insurance. You may now not be able to supply your stores with what you need. So that whole process is a very cumbersome, ineffective process. The moment you're able to start putting technology on the ground at the source, at the beginning of the process, no matter where that is, that could be in India, it could be in Botswana, that could be in Belgium or Israel or China, it doesn't matter where it is, and being able to understand what grade you're going to get, that is a huge benefit in terms of making the pipeline a lot more efficient. Second thing, and Angelo actually touched on that point somewhat, is the additional what we call sorting criteria. So there's a lot of criteria that are used in the diamond trade that are not necessarily part of a diamond grading report today. They're not part of the main 4 C's. And Angelo talked about it. You've got color tinges, you've got milkiness, you've got different types of clarity. So it may be an SI2, but the retailer doesn't want the black spots on the table or doesn't want the open cracks and so on and so forth. So the ability now to start categorizing these different parameters that are utilized by the trade is also critical. And when we talk about AI, which is a machine learning system, we can start teaching our systems additional parameters. So we don't need to stop at the 4 C's. We can add, and we're adding as we speak, additional parameters that will help the trade of those diamonds, again, reducing rejections coming back after the supplier sends the retailer the diamonds and he says, no, these have got black spots on the table, send them back, send me without. Even though they meet the SI1, G color, no fluorescence, excellent cut, they meet all the 4 C's criteria, but don't meet the additional criteria. So I see a lot of efficiencies coming into play when using technology. I'm sure that will create a huge value, not only for the supply side, but also for the buyer side, the retailers and the wholesalers who are buying those goods and have to deal with this whole process of sending goods back and rejecting goods once they receive them.
That makes a lot of sense. So, so Angelo, lab-grown diamond sales are increasing rapidly. Will GCAL by Sarine reports be available for lab-grown? Absolutely.
We're every single day we're creating diamond certificates for natural diamonds, lab-grown diamonds, diamond jewelry. That will continue, and I think there's huge opportunities for some of the technological innovations that Sarine has come out with for specifically that lab-grown market. But we will not discriminate between how it was formed or grown. We'll be issuing just like we are today, issuing certificates for both types.
Naturally differentiating between the two categories, of course.
Yes, of course.
Of course. And is that something that's still done by humans?
Even though it's graded by or grown by technology, grown by technology, graded by technology, that is coming. But today in the lab, we are still, as I mentioned, we're utilizing the AI systems as part of our process. But there's still a human element to our grading in the GCAL lab today.
Yeah, I mean, we need to keep up with different growth methods, different detection methods. So there's always going to be, I think, on the authentication side, a significant human component in researching, understanding how to do that, understanding which technologies are suitable to do the detection. And you're always going to have a certain percentage, even if it's a small percentage, that needs to go through more intensive processes, more advanced processes in order to do the detection. So So there's always going to be some human component in the authentication, I believe, because it's not a static process. It's a process that's evolving over time. The growing processes are changing and evolving and improving all the time.
So have you been getting a lot of demand from retailers and manufacturers to use Diamond Journey to help eliminate Russian mined diamonds from their supply chain?
So yeah, I mean, the last 12 months, I think we've seen a huge jump in the interest for traceability, for understanding the origin of the polished diamond, where it came from, what rough it came from, and where. But we talk a lot about origin, and there's a lot of talk about origin, the country of origin, and naturally the conflict today emphasizes that a lot. But I think when we talk about the diamond journey, and we call it the diamond journey, not origin, because we look at the whole journey, from the mine through the manufacture, the whole process of turning that rough diamond into that beautiful polished diamond. And that's also very important, because understanding the stakeholders along the way, how they impact in terms of sustainability, how they impact the environment, are they carbon neutral, how do they take care of their employees, their local communities, of course is of growing importance today. People not only want to understand where their product started the journey, but how it actually was manufactured along the way. So we take care of that whole process, and as I said, in the last 12 months we've seen a huge jump, nearly a 10-fold jump in interest with regards to traceability, and I expect that to continue increasing and multiplying as we go forward.
So we've talked a lot about sort of the large, colorless diamonds. What about fancy colors? Can they be graded using AI? Is that something that you anticipate being possible in the future?
So I'll start with the simple answer. Yes, it's possible. If you have enough data, you can teach a learning system to grade anything. Having said that, fancy color diamonds are not popular. They're very scarce. That's the nature of fancy diamonds. So in order to be able to gather enough data in order to grade fancy diamonds, that's probably a long-term task, and something that would be very challenging, because there are very few diamonds. They're actually not very, they're not similar. You have different types of fancy diamonds, different colors, different intensities of fancy diamonds. So I don't see fancy diamonds, even though it's possible theoretically to grade them, becoming something that we would grade through AI in the near future. Never say never, but I think fancy diamonds for the meanwhile will be graded in a manual way by gemologists. There's a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience there that they have. It's much more difficult to grade the fancy diamonds. There's less standardization, and I think that will for the meanwhile remain graded as they are today.
Great. So I have a question from the chat. Angelo, if a retailer buys an 8X fancy shape, can they be confident that there will be no bow tie?
Great question. We always say minimal bow tie, and so to eliminate a bow tie 100%. And I'll tell you why why we can't say no bow tie. If you've ever held an oval, which I'm sure you have, if I'm sitting here with a blue shirt looking at an oval at a reasonable distance, I probably won't see any black under the table. But if I were to place that stone in front of my black jacket, there may become a reflection from the environment around it. So the distance that you're looking at the stone, the lighting that you're looking at the stone, the environment around you matters. Now, what we do in assessing any oval to be certified as 8X is that we use machine vision, and we calculate actually a percentage of bow tie for every oval that comes through the lab. And so this minimal threshold is assessed mathematically. All of the diamonds that are assessed for 8X are taken in the same standard lighting environment, so they're all assessed in the same manner. And so minimal is what we promise through that 8X certification.
So another question from the chat: will Diamond Journey be available for lab-grown diamonds?
That's a good question. I think today at least, the origin of lab-grown diamonds is, I think, less critical for the lab-grown segment than for the natural. Having said that, we are seeing more and more interest of lab-grown players of being able to track the diamond. Why? Because just like natural diamonds are not equal, neither are lab-grown. There are different companies growing lab-grown diamonds in different environments. Some of them use sustainable energy, some of them don't. Many use different manufacturing processes that work on in certain conditions and others. So I think over time we may see more and more lab-grown interest in understanding where the diamonds came from, due to the fact that, as I said, there are many different ways of growing the lab-grown diamond, and I think that will grow over time. Angelo, maybe you want to add on that?
Yeah, I would say that as the lab-grown market has become more and more competitive over these last number of years, we've seen the quest for differentiation really accelerate. One of the things that we've seen a huge increase in lab-grown submitted for 8X certification, which we didn't anticipate at the beginning of that launch. So I think that differentiating where the stones came from, I think, is going to be something that is more and more interesting to retailers and sellers. I think that the evolution of the lab-grown market really has happened in about 8 years, what took the natural market, over 100 years. And so I think that there's definitely a quest for differentiation. You have a few countries primarily that produce lab-grown diamonds, and I think they're very different countries. And so I think the origin for some might be important, but I think one of the great things about the diamond journey, it has both the traceability aspect and the story aspect, is that it allows you to visually see the transformation of that rough to polished. And so even in a lab grown, that's a very interesting thing to see. I think people are fascinated by seeing what an HPHT rough crystal looks like, or what a CVD rough crystal looks like, and even to know, hey, this beautiful diamond that I'm wearing on my hand, what did it come from? So I think that it's interesting in both cases. Of course, it has very different origin components on the natural side, but I think it's of interest, and especially as we move forward with increased differentiation, I think it's a great service that we can be able to offer now.
We have one question from the audience about exactly what's involved in AI grading. Is it one machine? Is it many machines? Is it color? Is it clarity? Like, is it cut? Like, could you just sort of give us I know it's complicated, but like a quick kind of summary of what is AI grading?
So AI grading, basically, it's a suite of technologies. It's a suite of technologies that covers the 4 C's. So we have a system that grades color as well as fluorescence. That's one system. There is another system that grades cut and symmetry, and a third system that grades clarity. The systems, and again, without going into details, also are able to grade additional parameters. And I saw in one of the questions asking about milkiness and luster. So using these existing systems that are grading the main 4 C's, we are adding additional capabilities to these systems to be able to grade additional parameters, such as tinge or milkiness, and so on and so forth. So those are the 3 main components of the AI grading suite, and we believe that using these components, we'll be able to provide a nearly comprehensive capability to grade diamonds.
Right. So how does this integration affect GCAL's service availability in the USA and internationally? And if retailers are interested in offering GCAL reports, what should they do?
Great question. So let me take the first one. So another important thing, as we talked about at the beginning, as we considered this partnership, we needed to make sure this was good for our customers. And I said resoundingly, yes, it is. But another important thing was that we said that on day 1 of this partnership, that we have to be able to look at all of our customers in the eyes and tell them the existing services and products, the existing people, account reps, equipment, services, pricing, everything that we do for you today, we'll be able to do tomorrow. And so the great news is that everything we offer to our customers today remains the same, but with the addition of AI grading, diamond journey traceability, and in all of these other innovative technologies that Sarine is bringing to the GCAL lab. So there is no difference in service level. Everything remains the same. Everything is, anything is just getting better from this point. If, to the second question, if retailers are interested in offering GCAL certificates, what should they do? There's really two ways to do this. Number one is request GCAL. Request GCAL from your diamond suppliers. That is the easiest way. Secondly, I think most retailers or most in the audience are probably know of either Matthew Tratner or Steve Feldman, who are our business development and sales leads here at GCAL by Sarine. So reach out to Matt or Steve. They can assist you with whatever you might need. So that's the thing. Request GCAL from your supplier or reach out to our team, and we'll assist in any way we can.
Great. And David, do you have plans for the JCK show coming up?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be at the JCK show together, and we'll be actually presenting by invitation live demos of the grading technology to the clients. We're setting up schedules, so if anyone's interested, please contact the team, and we'll see how to get that set up. Actually, we have a very short, I think, video for JCK, and we'll be happy to see everyone over there.
Get ready to experience the ultimate powerhouse of gemology and AI diamond technology at JCK. Visit GCAL by Sarine to discover how this unique alliance can revolutionize your business. Boost your sales and enhance your customer experience like never before.
Great. So you actually have machines there and you'll be doing grading?
Yeah, I think it's actually will be the first time ever that there'll be grading machines at a show. We just saw the excitement of many of the clients that came to the GCAL lab over the last few months to visit and see the technology at work. So we decided, why not show many more, and therefore we decided to bring them to the show. And I said we'll be doing live demos to clients that have pre-booked schedules.
Very cool. So we have a few more questions from the chat, if you guys have time. Will the GCAL certs be AI-based alone, or a combination of AI and gemologists?
Yeah, great question. So today, that is very clear. It is a combination of AI and human graders. We see that happening for the foreseeable future, as David mentioned. There's a number of manual steps, along the way of whether it's authentication. But today, all GCAL certificates are going to be a combination of both. Obviously, Sarine has a vision for the future where these systems can be placed on site, where the entire process can be automated. So at that point, you could see change. But for the foreseeable future, these will be a combination of AI and humans.
Yeah, I think that it's a kind of a journey that we're on. There's a lot of things that can be done today through technology. There's a lot of things that still need human involvement. There's a lot of things that we don't deal with technology at all. For example, jewelry. And so jewelry will continue to be done totally manually. Maybe later down the line, we'll be able to bring technology that can assist with grading jewelry as well. But I definitely see this as a combination going forward. But what we want to be able to do is be able to scale up significantly. In order to do that, we need to have the technology in the field at the manufacturers doing a lot of the grading work, and having the team in the lab doing all the specialized processes that the technology may not be able to do today.
And David, I think you brought it up a little bit earlier, but one of the things that is really exciting for our customers and our manufacturers, and one of the maybe complaints or challenges with working with GCAL has been that we've had one location in New York, right? And as you know from our conversations we've had, that's been because our standards and our accuracy and consistency is so critical to us. So one of the great benefits of this partnership is that these systems, as David had said, will now be able to go on site to our customers' factories, where even at a minimum they can get a pre-grade and know, hey, I'm cutting a natural 8X, or I'm cutting a batch of natural 8Xs that need to be FVS plus. And we might be able to help them today, virtually to make sure that cut is up to spec. Stone comes in and it's a GVS, right? So they've cut this 8X, but it now no longer fits the program. So now having these machines on site at our customers' factories where they can get a pretty good sense of what that grade is going to be when it enters the GCAL lab, now all of a sudden saves time, saves money, allows them to work on a different stone, and it just increases the efficiency of the supply chain for GCAL certification. And that was really at the core of how these conversations began with Sarine, was how can we leverage this technology to make our services more accessible, right, more efficient for our customers, but without compromising our standards. And so the Sarine, the technology that they've brought to market, that accomplishes all of our missions. And so this is really about, again, everything that we do is for the benefit of our customers, right? And so being able to scale our business, bring our services closer to the manufacturing centers without compromising our standards, is really the holy grail for us.
We have another question from the audience. Do you identify lab-grown diamonds as grown on your lab-grown reports?
Yeah, great question. So we continue to list the growth method, HPHT or CVD, on every one of our lab-grown certificates. We might be the only lab left doing that. We do test for as grown at the request of clients. So that's something that is optional for our clients to request on lab-grown diamonds.
Okay, this is an interesting. I think, David, this one is for you. Do you think this combined effort for more accurate grading will impact the behavior of other labs?
I hope so. I hope the fact that high levels of consistency and a higher bar, higher standards will lead to, in general, higher standards in the industry. To be honest, I think that over time, most grading labs will have to move to technology. Otherwise, they'll be left behind, whether it be ours or maybe others that develop technologies in the future. But I definitely see, looking down the line, that grading labs will be using technology to grade the majority of the parameters that are needed, as compared to today, which basically are used for already a large portion of grading. If you go to the GCAL lab, even prior to us acquiring GCAL, you could see a huge amount of technology being used over there. So that's just increasing, and I think that's what's going to happen with most labs. Otherwise, I think they won't be able to keep up with the demand from the retail and consumer.
So one more question on diamond journey, which is, what if the diamond is recut? Is traceability affected?
Yeah, okay. That's actually a tricky question. The answer is yes, of course. But if the recutting is done in a way that is properly monitored, and there's a proper process which we have been discussing with a number of our clients, then it is possible to continue the traceability. Naturally, if the diamond is recut without going through that process, then it basically loses its identity. So it all depends on, is that diamond go through the right process after recut or during the recutting process? Does it go through the technologies to scan the different data that is required in order to continue the traceability process or not? So it's not a yes or no. It's a yes if it goes through the right processes.
There are a lot of questions and comments about the color tinge and luster and milkiness. And maybe you could just give us an estimate for when that's going to be available. Can they do it now, today, tomorrow? How long do you expect?
So maybe we didn't intend to talk about it, but yeah, we've actually introduced earlier this year our second generation of clarity grading system. GCAL already has the new systems over there. And we also have some systems at some clients that are being tested in India. And we're actually right in the middle of testing both milkiness, which is one of the parameters, as well as another parameter which has had an interest from retailers, what is called in the industry eye clean. So is the diamond eye clean or not? So we're actually testing a lot of new parameters at the moment, and I'm sure that part of them will already be available to the market during this year.
And I'm sure a lot of your customers are going to be bringing those stones to JCK to see what you make of them. So, okay, I think we've answered most of these questions here. So that brings us to the end of the hour. I'm sure people have more questions. If you want to go ahead and keep putting them in the chat, we'll send them along to David and Angelo, and if they weren't able to answer them during this session, they'll be in touch and answer all of your questions when they get back to the office. So we'd like to thank you all. Thank you both, Angelo and David, and thank you all in the audience for spending this time with us. And for those of you who would like to share today's webinar with colleagues or watch it again, we'll be sending you a link for the video of today's webinar via email either tomorrow or on Monday. So it will also be posted on InStore's website, which is instoremag.com, where you can find it under the education tab, and that will be available there in the next few days. So you can watch this over and over again. So thank you so much for spending time with us today and sharing your vision for the future of the diamond industry and AI and how it's going to affect grading. So congratulations to you both on the new brand, and we'll look forward to hearing more about you in the future.
Thank you very much, Cheryl.
Thank you, Cheryl. Thank you all for attending. See you in Vegas.
See you in Vegas. Bye-bye. Okay.